We're just two guys with one mission, and we've chosen to accept it for some reason. It's time to tell them what we mean, what we say.
Put it down.
Oh, right, yeah. No.
I told you to wait 1 second while I was just dealing with this thing.
Whatever. Right, anyway. Hello.
Hey, we just watched Contamination from 1980, and it was awesome.
Yeah, well, it was 50% awesome.
I'm going to go higher. I'm going to say it was like 75% awesome.
All right.
Because even when
50 is maybe underplaying.
50's underplaying it.
Yeah, okay.
It's a 1980s Italian science fiction horror movie directed by Luigi Cozzi, who I believe is the manager at Dario Argento's shop in Rome. Yeah.
Well, there's a fact for you.
And he's made some other movies, all of which escape from me now.
Okay.
But I'm assuming that this one is widely regarded as his best one. That said, I haven't seen his last film, which is called Blood on Melei's Moon.
What's Melei's Moon?
You know, the guy, the French guy...
George Melly?
Yeah, you know, who made the science, the man on the telly. No, he made those movies in France in the early 20th century.
Tonight video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's...
Yeah, okay.
Georges Méliès. I don't know how to say these things. Fuck you.
We're not. It's French.
Okay. So we'll just get into it. There's a ship coming into New York, and something's weird about it. All the crew have gone. They send in.
It smells funny.
It smells funny, and the crew have gone. They send in a cop and a scientician.
Yeah.
And when they get there, they find all these boxes of coffee, but one is spilt open and it's full of avocados.
Not eggs.
Not eggs.
We'll get to that.
One has rolled
one has rolled under a large pipe.
A hot pipe, and it's incubated.
Yeah. And it's good. Which is quite cute.
And then they say, hey, don't pick that up. A guy picks it up anyway. Then it explodes and his face gets melted off.
Yeah, in a brilliant way.
And then everyone explodes.
Like literally explodes from the chest, which is phenomenal.
Then the cop, who is the one who doesn't explode, gets taken to a secret army government base.
Yeah, science base.
Where Colonel Scientist is being given the task to work out what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
They trace the shipment of the avocados
on the ship the Caribbean Lady
to a warehouse in the Bronx. They go there and there's loads of these things. But the people who are responsible for receiving these items commit suicide by shooting the eggs and then shooting the avocados.
Yes.
And then
they get all the juice on them and then they explode.
Yes. Then they go back to the scienticians and the lady Professor Scientician.
Colonel Doctor.
No, not Colonel Doctor.
Nazi Doctor.
Lady
Nazi.
Lady Nazi. Not that she's a Nazi, she's just blonde.
She just looks like every Doctor Nazi.
She looks
you've ever
like
seen.
If you were going to cast someone as a lady Nazi doctor in an 80s exploitation movie, she would be a good choice. She would look the part.
Yeah.
But she's not a Nazi as far as we know. Maybe she has some abhorrent views. We can't tell.
She may have.
They didn't come up in the plot of the film. Anyway, this is where she says they're not eggs.
Definitely not eggs.
Definitely not eggs. But throughout the rest of the movie...
The yolky bit is the active agent in there.
They refer to it as eggs.
For the rest of the film.
And yolk.
Yeah.
Then they remember that a guy came back from a manned mission to Mars, claiming he saw some crazy eggs. And when he came back, everyone said, oh, this guy's mental. Let's ignore him. He becomes... They said, you're mental. They're not eggs.
For starters. But these things I see. No, there's already been a leap made before that, which is Colonel Doctor Lady.
Yeah.
Has already jumped to the conclusion. This is way before even they go to the Bronx. She's going like, I don't know why, but I seem to think that maybe there's lots of these, and they've already been distributed in sewers all around.
Yeah, she
New
thinks
York,
they're going to be in the
so
sewers.
that they'll blow up the whole city.
Yeah.
Which is a bit of a leap when you don't know what it is, and all you've decided is that it's not an egg. And it contains some sort of weird acid shit in it.
Yeah, it's a weird acid yolk, non-egg.
Not an egg.
So when they find the guy who went to Mars and talked about the eggs...
Yeah, who had previously been deemed crazy.
Yeah, it turns out it's Ian McCulloch from Zombie Flesh Eaters. And he's...
Not Echo and the Bunnyman.
He's not Echo and the Bunnyman. He's become an alcoholic, and then when he sees the drawings... When he sees the photos... he gets hired on to solve the crime.
Yeah.
So they all decide that they're going to go to Colombia, is it? Or
yes, Colombia,
somewhere south of the border.
Yeah.
And investigate. And then when they get there, his colleague, who he went to Mars with, is there in cahoots with a lady who runs a coffee company who looks exactly like
Dr.
Nazi Lady.
Yes.
And we were very confused.
Very confused. I still think it might be the same actress.
Quite possibly.
We have not checked. And we will not check. So then Dr. Lady...
The guy who we went to Mars with is called Hamilton. And Hamilton tries to kill off Colonel Scientist.
Yes.
And
by putting one in a bathroom.
By putting her in the bathroom where she can't get out.
The two men make... lots of jokes about the fact that, she'll be fine.
Yeah.
We don't need to check on her.
But then they decide to check on her, which is probably just as well that they did.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Then, we forgot to tell you this is the worst narration of a recap of a...
Is it? What else did we forget?
The cop went to south of the border as well.
Oh, yeah.
So it's the cop, Ian McCulloch from Echo and the Bunnyman.
Who also looks exactly like Colin Firth.
So it's Bronx cop, Colin Firth...
and Dr. Lady Doctor.
Dr. Colonel Doctor.
Dr. Colonel, Dr. Lady, Dr. Colonel. Yeah.
And they go on a mission.
Then they split up. Two of them
go... No,
Bronx Cop and Colonel Dr. Lady Doctor
go to check the factory. And Ian McCulloch from Echo and the Bunnyman...
and Dr. Firth. Colin Firth.
Steals a plane.
Yeah.
And then...
the plane's brought down somehow...
It's brought down by Hamilton.
Yeah.
Or Hamilton's goons. And Colonel Scientist Lady and Bronx Cop are captured. And
they have their hands tied and they're weirdly put back to back in which position they stay for no particular reason.
There's some erotic tension between them.
Oh, there's a kiss.
There's a kiss. There's some erotic tension between them, and then Ian McCulloch from Echo and the Bunnyman / Colin Firth walks through the jungle and sees all these eggs growing.
Not eggs.
Not eggs. Growing
in a plantation.
In a plantation situation, he beats up a hazmat goon, takes his identity, and then hauls ass to the factory.
To the fertilization plant.
Now, this is where things get weird.
Not that weird.
Yes, because they're not eggs.
They're definitely not eggs. Although they are.
They're told they are. We're told... No, actually, I'm going to come back. I'm going to go to that later.
Okay.
So, Colonel Scientist Lady and Bronx Cop are taken to see the creature that creates the eggs, not eggs.
Yeah.
And it turns out that it's a slimy...
colour Rambaldi-looking...
Cyclops.
Drawing on the floor of that dude from Monty Python's floor.
Yeah, it's like a slimy Cyclops monster from Mars.
Yeah.
That was grown from a seed... by Hamilton, who is hypnotized by the Cyclops, and the Cyclops has like a glowing eye that hypnotizes you, and we're told that that's the creature that's making the eggs.
Yes.
But they're not eggs.
Not eggs.
And we're also told by the coffee lady, because she says, how many did you pick today?
Yes.
So are they grown somewhere?
So are they laid by the Cyclops? Are they grown somewhere?
And then there's an incubation chamber.
And there's an incubation chamber, which they take them out of the hot plantation field,
and then put them under a light bulb.
Been grown and put them under a light bulb.
And it's really
that's pretty fucked up.
It's really the bit that I'm most confused about. I can take the Cyclops from Mars.
Yeah, that wasn't the bit I was most confused about.
Okay, what's the bit you're most confused about?
Well, I had not understood that the evil Bond villain was Hamilton, who was the original partner on the space expedition to Mars. I thought he had died when he'd seen the great bright light that had engulfed him whilst they were in the tunnel on Mars.
No, because there was a bit where they showed him footage, like acting normal and saying, "Oh, Ian McCulloch from Echo and the Bunnymen's mental."
Right. Clearly, I had not seen that bit. I was not paying attention at that point.
Anyway, Ian McCulloch from Echo and the Bunnymen, Colin Firth, takes Coffee Lady hostage and then goes into the incubation chamber, murders all the goons.
Yeah, one of which explodes.
And by the time he gets to the Cyclops, Bronx Cop has been eaten.
Well, see, now I'll explain that. So he's been brought there by Hamilton.
Yeah.
Is hypnotised by the Cyclops' eye.
Crushed.
Walks very slowly towards the Cyclops and is crushed by the Cyclops' one giant arm.
One eye, one arm.
One eye, one arm. Probably one ball. Whilst being crushed, has the blood coming out the mouth thing, which always looks cool in movies to me.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, his tummy must be real bad.
Yeah. His insides must be literally coming out of his mouth.
In a goo, in a kind of goo.
Yeah. And then,
they're literally coming out of his mouth in a kind of goo.
And then Colin Firth McCulloch
bursts in
with Coffee Lady. Hamilton then shoots Coffee Lady because he don't give a fuck at this point.
No.
He just wants to kill Ian McCulloch Firth, but doesn't because Ian McCulloch Firth responds too quickly, kicks the gun out of his hand. They have a terrible They Live style fight on the floor.
He gets
all the while Colonel Doctor Lady is walking slowly because she's also been hypnotised by the eye.
Yeah.
And then, wouldn't you know it, in the nick of time, Colin Firth McCulloch shoots the Cyclops in his one eye.
Yeah, one eye. And that causes the spell to be broken.
Yes.
It causes Hamilton to explode.
It causes a smoke machine to go off.
And then that's the end of the movie, you think. But wait, there's one last thing. We cut back to New York.
It's the Carrie hand coming out of the ground.
It's the Carrie hand coming out of the ground. We're back in New York. We're close up on a pile of trash because, let's face it, in the 80s, New York was just trash.
Just trash.
It was just, what do you want for dinner? Oh, I'll have more trash, please. Should we go to the cinema?
That's all we've got.
It's what's on? Oh, it's trash. Oh, what are the streets filled with? Trash. How do the cars run? Trash.
What are all the people who live there? Trash.
Everything is trash until that brave man Rudy Giuliani came along and got rid of all the eggs. There was an egg in the bin. There's a thing, and then it explodes, and that's the end of the movie. But there's no more now because Rudy Giuliani cleaned it up.
Well, the implication being that if there's one in a trash bag and New York's full of trash.
Yeah.
It's probably full of eggs, not eggs.
But that's what they meant when they said Rudy Giuliani cleaned up 42nd Street. He meant they literally went around and collected all the eggs.
Finding all the eggs.
From the 1980 movie Contamination.
And that's what drove him mad.
And that's what drove him...
the fucking lunatic that he is now.
Yeah. And I reckon if you put that on...
Done.
All right, bye.
Bye.
I reckon if you put that on Twitter as a conspiracy, and you can't at Alex Jones anymore, right? But who's...
I do not believe so, no.
But there must be someone equally as insane as Alex Jones.
Donald Trump.
He's not going to listen to me.
He's not going to read Twitter.
He's not going to read my tweets to him.
I think he reads everybody.
He's not going to read my things going, hey, good on Rudy Giuliani for cleaning up 42nd Street of all the alien eggs, not eggs, from the 1980 movie Contamination. Hashtag better safe than sorry.
Yeah. Sean Hannity, he'd like it. That'd be a good story for him. He cleaned up all these eggs.
He cleaned up all these eggs.
He's a great man.
He's a great man. We could be swimming in Cyclops goo.
Yeah. Not a vampire. Anyway, so I thought this... Yeah. Discuss film.
Oh, discuss film.
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I mean, it gets a little... For me, the pacing's a little bad in the second act.
Yeah, definitely.
As soon as they get to Bolivia, there's a little bit too much shit sleuthing going on.
Yeah.
But I mean, the first fucking 20 minutes, half an hour, fucking fantastic.
Yeah, it's really... And I think...
There's some alien shit going on. There's some explodey people going on.
Yeah, it's just the right kind of you can follow it, but it's still pretty nonsensical.
Yeah, and it's enough of a kind of... To start with, it's enough of an alien rip-off to be like, ooh, what's going on here? Without you thinking...
It's not a total alien rip-off.
No,
that's the thing. It's
going into a place, finding some eggs, egg explodes,
yeah.
chest explodes.
These are the elements that these are the elements they ripped off. Whereas, I feel like... Did you ever see that movie, Life, with Jake Gyllenhaal?
Thankfully not. Because I hate Jake Gyllenhaal.
Well, I don't hate Jake Gyllenhaal, and I watched this one. It's kind of like an Alien rip-off. They're in space. This creature gets on board and it goes mental and tries to kill everyone.
Okay, like Species.
No, it's Species is way better.
Oh god, Species is awesome. I love Species.
Species is so much better. But yeah,
And
it's kind of like when people have ripped off Alien, they try to rip off the kind of more structural elements.
Yes,
let's
yes,
say, and the
This definitely does
aesthetic
not do
elements.
that, yeah.
Whereas all of the only aesthetic similarities are eggs, not eggs, and how do we get
Chesty bursters.
how do we get as like much gore as possible?
Yeah, absolutely. And the last 20 minutes just goes so fucking off the rails that it's fantastic.
Yeah. I was
Like
really.
the Cyclops did not look anything like the Cyclops I thought it was going to be. Because again, massive spoiler in the opening credits and special Cyclops effects. Oh, right, so there's going to be a Cyclops in this at some point. Right. And it's not... Yeah, I was expecting more of a... I don't know, Alice Cooper, welcome to my nightmare Cyclops, like big, tall, ogre-looking thing with one eye.
I feel like you're describing a penis.
Kind of like that thing off Your Gabba Gabba. That's kind of what I was expecting.
Okay.
That kind of Cyclops. But this thing, it was just a fucking Terry Gilliam version of the thing. It was great. It was slimy, it was rubber, and it was horrible.
Yeah, it was like Lovecraftian, shall we say.
Yeah, it's very much so. That's a good way to put it.
It had some strong elements that I really enjoyed. It had a bunch of stuff that made no sense, but I was still pretty entertained throughout. All in all, I think this is a pretty great movie.
Acting wasn't terrible.
But also it was terrible.
Yeah,
it was everyone kind of played it well.
Yeah, everyone was giving it their best go.
Like it was very physical and kind of jovial in places.
Yeah.
Especially Bronx Cop,
Yeah.
who I think was my favorite character in the movie.
Okay. Yeah.
Because he was basically like a 15-year-old boy.
Like, hey, I'm just along for the ride. Hey,
Yeah, he was kind of like that. All he was thinking about was women and justice.
Justice.
No, he was thinking about women and how he was getting screwed over.
Yeah, constantly. Yeah. Something's going on here. You're not telling me what. I'm constantly being screwed over.
He feels like
Also, tail.
Yeah, he was definitely my favorite character in the movie.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a fun movie.
It was fun. It wasn't a slog.
No, it definitely was not a slog. It was very
even the lull in the middle wasn't really a slog. It was just compared to what came before it, and in hindsight, what came after it. It's a lull, but it's not a slog.
Yeah, I agree.
Cool.
Do you want to score this?
Sure, why not?
What would you give it for story?
I got 4. It's pretty original. Eggs, not eggs from space. Were they from space? Were they eggs? Were they growing in the field? Big Cyclops thing. I mean, I would have expected the Cyclops thing to have been producing the eggs. But that doesn't seem to.
But that's what they said it was.
But then why were they growing in a field?
I don't know.
And then why were they transferred from the field to the incubator?
Well, I think they're going to lose.
So,
points
we're about to lose on the next one.
No, in logical sense, I think it's going to lose a lot of points.
But
story-wise, I think
it was an original concept-ish.
I think I'm going to go a little bit low. I think I'm going to go for a 3 on this.
Okay.
Mostly because I felt everything was slightly inconsequential. I think this film could have, like, in terms of story, it was like maybe 30 minutes of story. You come across this weird thing, you go investigate where it was going to go, then you go investigate where it came from.
Yeah.
And then you find something weird there. That's basically like 4 main plot points, and I think you probably could have gone a little bit deeper into all this stuff.
All right.
But
I'll give you that.
but it was still pretty strong as a story.
Yeah.
Like I liked the story.
You could pretty much follow it.
Yeah. No, it was not so much about
story-wise you could, logic-wise you couldn't, and that's going to be the difference between the two.
But I would say that as a story, it was very simple.
Yeah. And the bits that you didn't know to start with were
it's not like the Beyond, which is has like it brings in so much extra stuff, and it's like I like the story more of the Beyond, but like I like the story, but I can't rate it very high. Okay, but the gore
was great.
The gore was
really well done. I mean, you can tell it was like a air pump under the chest plate, but it looked fucking great when they exploded. And the egg, not egg itself looked great. Yeah. Slight rip off.
The effects, like in general, I think were pretty good.
Yeah. I go 4.
I think I'm going to agree. I think I'm going to give you
one of the greatest in the world. Like I say, you could see it was definitely like a fucking air valve under there pushing it out. But at the same time,
I think I probably would have given it a 5. Yeah, like there was definitely some slow motion shots in there. Yeah. There were basically you could see the effect didn't quite work.
Yeah.
But they had to use the shot.
Yeah, precisely.
Anyway.
If they had a different angle, it would have looked way sweet.
Okay, and so for the overall creativity of the film.
Well, again, in the same way as the story thing, I think it's a good concept. It's original.
I liked
3 or 4, I guess.
I'm gonna go for a 3 on the basis that there were definitely some stolen elements.
Yeah.
But it wins a lot of points on the basis of the creature design and
Yeah, because it could have just been a man in a suit.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give it a 3. What are you gonna give it?
Yeah, I'll give it a 3 on the exact same basis as that.
Okay. For logical sense,
0.
you're gonna give it a 0.
Oh, maybe not 0. I mean, again, it comes down to your main MacGuffin in the film. What the fuck is it? It's an egg, not an egg. It's from space, but it doesn't come directly from the creature, so it's not like the alien.
But they
queen.
said it did came from the creature.
So the logical sense of why is it in the field? Why is it in an incubator?
Yeah, there's a lot of holes.
Yeah, there's an awful lot of holes in it. Why is it that freezing it's good and also setting fire to it's good, even though it's the heat thing that brings it out?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah, I think this is where it's going to lose points.
How does a flashing 1980s bike light in the
I don't know.
eye of a cyclops, why does that hypnotise you? That was never really explained. Just that it does.
Yeah, like the fact that Hamilton and the alien are connected.
Yeah, so
somehow.
So that when you kill the alien, it also kills Hamilton. I guess they literally pay lip service at the end and say, "Oh well, it's because he'd seen it earlier on."
Yeah,
that's why.
I'm glad they
connected."
did that
It's just
because that was.
Yeah, when his chest started going, it's just like, and why? And then also, why does it burst into flames? It's like when cars burst into flames in films. It's just like, why?
Yeah, but that's just
why did it
that's
do
just that's just fun.
Well, yeah.
But so yeah, I think I'm probably gonna. These are all solid points.
Yeah,
and I think I'm gonna give it a 1,
which is
just
very
for
distracting. Yeah, I would go 1
because it wasn't all nonsense.
No, not at all.
But it was mostly
Yeah.
nonsense.
Yeah, and this is the difference between the logic and the story thing. The story itself makes sense if you take this logical leap, but you have to take such a fucking logical leap, and some things just are not explained.
Yes, and there's a lot of leaps. The characters' logic leaps are quite.
Yeah, like I say, her going after seeing it for 5 minutes, just going, "Oh yeah, there could be hundreds of these in New York and in the sewers, so that the city explodes." Well, how did you get there?
Yeah,
it could just be some fucking biological weapon.
You could put them in. What about a tropical, like a greenhouse? You could put them there. Same thing.
Put them anywhere. Put them in the front window of a particularly hot room.
Yeah, or you could put them on a bus.
Yeah. So if the bus reaches 50 degrees, then the egg will go off.
You're not being on a bus? Buses. You can put them on a Greyhound bus.
You ever seen a bus go over 50 miles an hour?
You ever seen a bus?
Logically, speed can't happen either.
And the music.
We're going to disagree a bit on this.
Okay,
You're about to profess this to be one of the greatest soundtracks in the world.
No, actually, there's the thing. Like, it's one of my favourite Goblin scores because it's really different from quite a lot of their other stuff.
Is it though?
Yeah, like it's kind of got a feeling that's like it's not it's closer to Dawn of the Dead than it is Suspiria.
Yes,
but it's not. I wouldn't necessarily say it's exactly the same as Dawn of the Dead, though. I definitely has some elements of it.
It's very much in the same vein,
but I don't think there's enough of it in the movie. There's actually quite a lot of the movie that doesn't have a score.
It's very obvious when it kicks in.
Yeah.
And it's very obviously Goblin when it kicks in.
Yes. So I'm going to rate it high, but I'm not going to give it I'm going to give it a 3.
Wow.
Because
that's at least one lower than I thought you would go.
It's not Tenebrae.
Okay.
And it's not Suspiria and it's not Dawn of the Dead, but it's up there. It's one of the good ones.
Okay. Well, as you know, I'm not a massive fan of Goblin in the first place. Yeah, whatever. I would say the songs that are on there are of the better end of the Goblin stuff that I've heard, i.e. Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
Which is their best one in my opinion. But it's still fucking Goblin at the end of the day, so I'm going to go 2.
Okay.
It is what it is. It's good at what it does, but it is what it is.
Okay. And for a final score of 28 out of 50, that's quite high.
That's pretty good.
Quite high, I reckon. I would actually say it's like above average.
Yeah. Out of the ones that we've seen so far, that is definitely true. Definitely true.
And would you recommend this film, Steve?
Yeah, I would actually. Sci-fi types, people who like Alien, people who like just kind of like, oh, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, for people who like
kind of cheap-ass sci-fi People who like Blake Seven, Doctor Who.
Yeah. This is exactly like if you like Blake Seven and Doctor Who and splatter and crazy Lovecraft twists.
Yeah.
Then I reckon you'd probably like this movie a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
As did I.
Me too.
Okay, I guess that's it then.
Yes.
I got no crazy story this time.
Aww. Well. Bye.